Hey, thought leaders. This is the personalbranding.com podcast, and I'm your host, Dillon Kivo. Join us to learn how to build a legacy, boost your reputation, and make a lasting impact. Let's dive in. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the personalbranding.com podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about nurturing your peers and followers by creating a positive impact. This episode goes over chapter 9 of my book, The Authority Playbook. Grab it on Amazon if you want to follow along. All right. So maintaining a skill is just as important as learning it in the first place. Once you've taken the steps towards gaining authority in your field, learning how to keep your audience and network is crucial. Authority is hard to gain, but extremely easy to lose. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you about some ways that you can lock in your client base and just the circle of peers every step of the way. So 2 keys of maintaining your following are empathy and introspection. Being seen as a positive figure by lifting other people up in your field or niche is really, really important. Of course, treating your clients well and nailing your service is also essential. Customers really appreciate a service-driven business, but I'll talk about that more a little later. I've never seen a successful authority figure get to their position without paying it forward. Think of Tony Robbins, for example. Although he's best known as a motivational speaker and entrepreneur, he's also raised millions of dollars for charities and helps out people in need through his Tony Robbins Foundation. He could have chosen to keep his wealth to himself, but instead, he decided to use some of it for those who truly, truly need it. And that has really solidified him as a figure that just tons of people look up to, right? I'm sure many of you guys do too. I know I do. I've been to a lot of his events and they're amazing, super helpful. My point in saying this is that authorities benefit hugely from not only thinking of themselves, but in my opinion, giving back to your community is the responsibility of every successful entrepreneur in authority, right? Doing the right thing is doing the thing that is best for you and your community. I like to say that a person with authority does not have to sacrifice their neighbor to be successful. The first thing I want to focus on is giving back to your peers. It's very likely that you owe some of your success to other authorities in your field, either directly or indirectly to them. They say we stand on the shoulders of giants that stood before us. I've talked about my own mentorship experience and how much that it's just set me on the right path. Having mentors to look up to is super helpful, and mentoring other people adds like-minded individuals to your network, and it's a win-win for all of you. If you're in a position to guide someone who's coming up in your niche, speak from experience without being pushy. Remember that everyone has a different level of expertise, right? And do your best to meet them where they're at. Talk through your experience and how you got to where you are, but remember that the way it worked for you might not work for them, right? If you approach them the right way, they'll look up to you as an authority. Don't stop at tagging or featuring them on social media. When you can, pass them actual opportunities that you can't accept, right? If you have leads that come in and it's too small of a job for you, but you know that they can handle it. I mean, don't just, give somebody who's inexperienced, but give them leads that you know that they can take care of. So you're not jeopardizing your own, referral and, resources and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how helpful throwing lifelines to your peers can be. It's a huge boost to their budding careers, right? And it builds a more positive community in your niche. The next thing I want to talk about is keeping the client first. Great customer service really sets businesses apart from their competition when they do this. Once you've found your ideal customer, make it your mission to serve them. This mindset will take you from just selling a product or service to designing a system that works for your clients. Once you established yourself as an authority, satisfying your customers is one of the best ways to maintain it. So don't cut corners and cheapen the process just to drive sales. That's one of the quickest ways to go from being an authority to going back to just another profit-driven business that's not really well respected. For the sake of simplicity, there are 2 ways you can run your business. You can either focus on service or focus on profit. If the principle of serving your customers becomes a cornerstone of your business practice, it'll show in how you run your operation. and how profit just will come naturally, right? But if you focus on profits only, your service will probably suffer and you won't be able to serve your community as well as you should. To be a good authority figure, you need to be selfless. People understand that putting the client first is good for business. And so lots of companies build systems that cater to their companies. But a lot of time, their hearts aren't really in it. Being selfless in this context is recognizing that your customers are what ultimately keep you afloat. It's having genuine appreciation for them and showing it. This could look like giving away promotions or other free services. Giving away valuable information for free shows that you appreciate those who follow you. In my opinion, the business model that works best is the one that's driven by selflessness and service and generates profits as a side effect. Do your best to take time to help somebody in need. Instead of seeing every customer as a source of revenue or a number on a list, treat every client as an individual by making exceptions when it makes sense and being ready to give refunds if you messed up. If you treat your customers as equals and with respect, you'll see it reciprocated. A selfless authority doesn't flaunt their success or lords it over others who aren't as far along yet. And a successful authority isn't a grifter who charges ridiculous prices for less than quality products or services. A selfless authority does their best to make a positive impact in their niche and their community, right? They do this by treating customers with respect and helping out their peers. Next, I want to talk about the importance of standing up to injustices in your niche. If you see a small business being crushed by a big organization, stand up for their business and promote them on your social media. If you see a peer that's just unfairly just being smeared by the media, stand up for them. If you truly know they're good, stand up for them. And don't worry if you're polarizing or if your customers, they don't really agree with what you're saying. Always do the right thing and tell the truth. If you find stolen content that belongs to somebody else, speak up and point it out. Stand up for the other people in your niche. It's going to indirectly boost your status because you'll be seen as someone who puts their relationships first. You'll be seen as someone who puts people in relationships first. Make these things your goal and you will see changes as your authority status continues to rise. Don't be in a rush. Progress takes time, but doing it the right way will definitely speed up the process. Now look, you might be wondering, how do you make your authority actually work for you? What are some ways that you can monetize your expertise and influence? I'll go over these in the next episode. But for now, stay golden. Keep watching these episodes. I'm here to help you grow. I'll see you in the next episode. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to hear from all of you. Follow and connect with me on all of your favorite social media platforms at Dillon Kivo, DILLONKI, V as in Victor, O. And until next time, keep building your brand and stay golden.